Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about your internal compass, aka your intuition, how to align to it, how to discover it, and how to use it to find your highest timeline. Now, when we talk about intuition, every single human being is born with intuition. And the way that you discover your intuition is really different for everybody because we all have different lives, right? So I'll be talking about my personal story and also try to relate some examples that you may be able to find useful in strengthening your intuition. So when it comes to me, I grew up quite, I would say, intuitive. No, my parents never really helped me develop that. It was just something that I was able to discover on my own very easily. So I remember actually being in my childhood house. Funny enough, we are actually in my childhood house right now. So hopefully the memories can help me vividly tell these stories to you all. By the way, these plants right here, funny story is I did a digital nomad journey to South America for a year. And basically my mother got so upset with me because I told her I was going to Argentina for maybe 3 months, and I ended up going to Brazil and Colombia and staying for basically a year. So she replaced me with plants. So that was when I was 21, 22. And she had all this nurturing, loving energy that she just transferred from me, put into these plants. And I came home and there's just a lot of beautiful plants everywhere, which was a very productive way to channel your energy. So I guess my mom is also a very intuitive person. Shout out to your mother. So I guess it comes from a little bit of inheritance as well. But I digress, right? And someone said that my mic previously was a little soft. So if it is too loud now, let me know. I need to calibrate. And I do appreciate feedback and comments and all of that. So please do continue providing them. All right, so let's keep talking here. When it comes to me and my personal journey towards intuition and how that came up for me, I had an essential oils machine growing up that basically had an LED light that would loop around different colors. And my favorite color when I was in adolescence was red and we're in a red room right now. Because it's bold, and I always aligned that to my sun sign in astrology, which is Aries. By the way, I am a cusp meaning you're born in between a transition of two signs. So Pisces, Aries, I like to say, which has lots of juxtapositional dynamics to it. 12-1, water, fire. So let some character development information out so that you guys can get to know me a little bit better. But anyways, when it comes to this essential oils machine, I was able to intuitively know when it would switch to red. It was so interesting and honestly weird at the time and coincidental, synchronistically. So I would be able to, let's say, be doing something randomly in the house, not looking at the actual essential oils machine, and then turn around immediately when it was red or turning red. And every time I was right, probably 95% hit rate. And it was actually funny. The times that I felt the most confident were the times that I actually missed it. But the times where I was just I kind of knew, right? So I think there's a bit of what I'm trying to say is there's two elements here. There's one of a forceful, an egoic knowing, I know it's red, and then you turn around, it's not red. And then there's a fluid kind of go with the flow, intuitive, knowing, right? So it's oh yeah, it's red. You get what I'm saying? All right, we're back. Sorry about that quick interlude. My dog is a very untrained dog. I mean, I have Asian parents who really didn't know how to train a dog. So he's terrible. I mean, he barks at everybody. Anyways, I digress. Aren't these digressing moments so good for us because they really allow us to get to know each other? So I'm going to continue to digress, and you guys are just going to get to know me more and more. Okay. So in terms of this essential oils machine, yeah, like, so I would literally had a 90 to 95% hit rate on when it would be red. And I kind of understood that as like me, like learning to actually like use my intuition, in one specific scenario. And then I tried to extrapolate that to, life. And when it comes to life, your intuition is so important because it is what helps you make the decisions, both on a micro and macro level, right? So micro level, what are you going to do today? What are you going to want to eat? Macro level, these are like life events, right? So like, do you want to go to college? Do you not want to go to college? Do you want to take that job? Do you want to be in a relationship with this person? Do you want to live in this area, right? So these are all essentially macro life decisions, and your intuition the better your intuition is, the better decisions you're going to make, okay? That leads you to your highest timeline. Okay, so as this was my really big first test for intuition, I was about 16, 17 at the time. So I also had a part-time job at Chick-fil-A. Yes, my pleasure, looking ass. I did say my pleasure a lot, and it did teach me a lot of teamwork skills and manners. So shout out to Chick-fil-A. Nothing bad to say about it. I was working at the window, and basically I was tired of working at Chick-fil-A, wanted to get more of a job in a subject matter that I was interested in. At that time, I knew I was interested in sales and marketing, but I honestly didn't know like how to even think about it. I didn't know anything about sales and marketing, but I knew I wanted a job there. And it was either like retail sales at Hollister at the mall or something, or Abercrombie and Fitch, or find something else. And I really didn't want to work at Abercrombie and Fitch. So I decided to use the window that I was at. So that was my position. I was at the window. The window position essentially is the person that takes the card and then also gives the food to the customer. So basically the transaction. The good thing about, if you think about it on like high level way, the good thing about the window is you're able to have small interactions with lots of people, because it's constantly dynamic, and it's literally just transaction. And I remember during my tenure at Chick-fil-A, during doing this window gig, we had a competition to sell calendars. And I actually won this competition selling calendars. They were like cow calendars or whatever, because that's the mascot of Chick-fil-A. And I think it was like a really fucking easy pitch. I mean, it was like the calendar was $30, and they would basically get like a free meal once a week or something. So it was such an easy pitch. And I ended up getting the first place in this competition of selling calendars. I sold the most, and I think I got like a Chick-fil-A gift card or something. But regardless, that calibrated me in a way to like really talk to these customers that were at the window. And I realized that like I could use that to find my next gig. So instead of pitching Chick-fil-A, I pitched myself, and like I was like, all right, let's go find a sales and marketing gig so I can learn about this subject matter. And I essentially found this one opportunity that was super bogus and super like hardworking. So basically what it was a B2B sales opportunity, business to business sales opportunity, where they wanted me to go to brick and mortar stores and set up an advertising system. So essentially like, you go into a barbershop, and in the top right corner, there's a television, and that television has a slideshow of other businesses on it. So they wanted me to sell the system of that, the infrastructure, to create this community within the city that I was living in at the time. So I actually was super happy at first because it was a sales and marketing job. And I realized that like it was really hard, but I still stuck through it because I knew, intuition, that it would lead me somewhere. Like I can literally remember, guys, in the hot hot Georgia sun, walking on the highway and literally going business to business in a polo and khakis and loafers, I'm sure, or Sperry's at the time. I'm sure I wear one of those. Just like knocking on businesses' doors, trying to sell this. I got the cops called on me because I went to like the town, and it was like they were kind of like racist, and you know, some Asian kids coming into your business try to solicit it. Just so much weird, funny stuff. So that happened for 3 months, and you know, I got some traction. Didn't get nearly as much money, but it taught me a lot about life. And what it did was actually, I remember vividly at the end of that era in my life of selling this weird advertising system, I went to a gym, and in this gym, I literally did my pitch, and the guy asked me, how much are they paying you? And I'm like, I think like $600 every 2 weeks or something like that, and plus commissions. And he said, I'll double that, and then I'll pay you also commissions. So basically, and the funny part was, I actually saw The Wolf of Wall Street the week prior, and it was the scene where Donnie goes into like the diner with Jordan, and he sees his car, and he's like, what do you do? He's like, I'll drop everything and work for you. So like, it was literally that scene, and I'll put it up so that you guys can like reminisce with me. But so this guy ends up seeing my sales skills at a gym, and at the time, I was super into fitness. I mean, like, I was working out 6 days a week, eating 3,000, 4,000 calories a day. By the way, I was born super skinny, like 110, 115 pounds, cross country track. So like, was not at all easily gaining weight, ectomorph, if you may. So I was trying to really get into my fitness gym rat bro era, and I actually did really well. I worked out a lot, as I mentioned, and I just fully dived into fitness, right? And that opportunity that arose was doing a sales job at a gym. So I kind of combined two things: my passion for fitness at the time and my intuitive, let's say, background in wanting to do a sales and marketing job, right? So I combined those two. And lo and behold, I was the fourth ranked, I got to the fourth ranked sales position, or not sales position, fourth ranked salesperson in the entire state within the first month. So like, I think I sold 30 to 50 memberships a month. And it was just so easy and natural. I mean, I was cold calling. People would walk into the gym, and I would just sell them. Everybody was just like really surprised that I could do this. And I was just like, it's really easy. It became supernatural to me. So, and that was because I was on my correct timeline, right? Things usually are easier for you and less friction, more natural when you're on that timeline. So that's what it's really important to know, right? If you're experiencing lots of friction, then that might be an intuitive sign that you're not doing what you're meant to do. Okay. So we're kind of falling back to that premise, the core premise of like, how do you actually get to your highest timeline? Because that's what I want for everybody watching this video. Like, how are you going to live authentically your truth so that you can contribute uniquely to the world, and we can make the server of Earth a beautiful, unified place where we're all happy. Of course, I mean, I think I understand that this is the universe and there's always polar forces in every scenario. But I do believe that love can win. And this channel is about that. So I digress, but I also continue to provide some character development info and lore, if you may. All right. So I'm top 4 salesperson at this gym, first month there. And then I realized that I don't also want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't know. I just had this really interesting like macro like look at my life, and I was like, I need to just continue like keep churning out experiences. So like 18 years old, I met up with a good friend of mine at the time, and still, Chidi, and we basically were able to conjure up a interesting app idea. And then this app idea led me to an internship at a tech company. And then this tech company internship led me to an agency internship. And then this agency internship led me to being a subcontractor doing marketing. And that subcontractor marketing position led me to being an agency owner of my own, doing marketing and getting large contracts with clients, handling large budgets. And then that allowed me to get to this point where I am today, which is basically a fractional chief marketing officer / person who invests in ventures with my own energy and money as well. So just kind of like full circle, like getting to where we are, right? And obviously I could tell a lot of intricate nuances, but this video would be a little too long there, and we can go through a career day in a different video. But today we're talking about intuition, right? So just kind of wrap up the concept. When it comes to intuition, really what you need to be able to do to access your intuition at a extremely high alignment level is listen to yourself and feel. Those are the two things that you got to do. And they sound simple on the surface, but the simpler something is, the harder it is to do in very ironic fashion. So like, let's think about how to actually dissect this and get better at your intuition, how to train it for yourself. So the first thing is listening to yourself. Okay, how does your body feel? Okay, like, are you sore? Like, do you feel like you need to stretch? Do you have knots? Like, these are all different signals that you can feel and understand about yourself. So how does your body feel, right? How do you feel emotionally? Are you sad? Are you happy? You know, like, what emotions are you literally just like going through on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Try to identify those patterns, right? And then, like, even intellectually, listening to yourself. Am I intellectually engaged in this job? Am I intellectually engaged in my life mentally? Like, am I enjoying my presence at different moments in my existence on a day-to-day basis, right? Enjoyment, you don't have to enjoy everything necessarily. Life isn't always about pleasure and hedonism, but there should be a macro level of enjoyment and excitement in your life, because that's how you're on that timeline of being great and aligned with your purpose. So listen to yourself, right? That's how you do it. And I'll put, honestly, some resources below. If you don't see it, I'm still cooking them up. So you'll just come back, refresh. You'll see it. Okay, so I totally lost my train of thought, but now we're back. So the second aspect of really tapping into your intuition is feeling. Feeling is, I don't even know how to teach you to feel, right? Some people actually can't feel because they may be like psychologically handicapped in that position. But for a majority of human beings, I would say 99% of human beings, I don't know the exact stats there, most of people can feel. So when it comes to feeling, it's such a personal, I would say, endeavor for everyone. So I will talk from my personal experience here. But when you feel something, it's like you break down how every single cell in your body is like giving you a signal towards a certain situation. I think that is, to me, what feeling is. And I know that like everybody talks about the gut and that being like the second heart, if you may. And it has like, let's say, like these special cells in the gut that allow you to feel. I don't remember the exact like scientific understanding of that concept, but I know that that is somewhat evident. But the cells in your body and the different areas in your body, so like your heart versus your stomach versus your head, those all carry different abilities for you to interpret situations, right? When you're thinking from your head, you're thinking from a place of intellectual, like logic. At least that's for me. And then when you're thinking or just like feeling with your heart, then it's more of a intuitive, like high level, like divine alignment, if you may. Same thing with your gut, right? So it's always just kind of balancing the head, intellectual, with the feelings of the body, the heart. And if you're able to kind of play with those two levers, if you may, and allow them to guide a lot of your decision making, you're going to be in a great position, because that is exactly how you make decisions, is balancing those two dynamics, right? Sometimes more decisions come with an intellectual necessity, right? Where, let's say it comes to finances or making a decision around resources, then that's way more intuitive, intellectual or logical. But let's say it comes to doing a big trip, right? Pilgrimage, ceremony, or even just like unknown journey. Then you got to feel with your heart. You got to like, is this the right move for me? And a lot of the times you will feel scared, but the moment you feel scared is the moment you jump, because that is how you allow the universe to help you understand that you trust it, right? And then when you trust, everything unfolds for you. So I'll leave this video with that. And again, I'll try my best to put some resources below to help you guys continue to tune in with yourselves and improve your intuition. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I'm always here for you guys. Happy to engage, happy to, build this relationship. And thank you guys so much for watching and your attention, of course. Such beautiful souls here that we have. But yeah, let's make a big impact on the world. Let's try to be a positive beacon of light in a world of dark, right? And I do fundamentally believe that you guys listening here are listening for a purpose. So I really appreciate it again, and looking forward to connecting with you on the next transmission. Ciao. Bye.